Right, so welcome to the call, everybody. Thank you so much on this public holiday long weekend. WA Day it is over here, Scott, West Australia Day. We're all celebrating. Thanks so much, everybody, for getting on the call tonight. We have the amazing Scott Henley, who's coming to us all the way from the UK today. I think it's about lunchtime, your time over there. It's 8 p.m. our time. And I asked Scott to come on our team call tonight because he's done some amazing things in a really short period of time in this business. And I had the opportunity to meet Scott when I was over in Dubai in January, and also have a chance to listen to him and tell his story. And I think it's a really powerful story. And he's here really tonight to share with you guys some of the nuts and bolts of how he's built his business and some of the principles that he puts in place with his team to really build the community over in the UK, because he's certainly been one of the fastest moving teams over there. So Scott, maybe I think I'll hand over to you to tell us a little bit about you and what you were doing when you first heard about Juice Plus. What was it about it that it made you take a look, and then what made you actually get a franchise and get to work?
Yeah, no worries. Hey guys, how are we doing? So thanks for having me on the call. It's an absolute pleasure to help and inspire you guys. And it's nice to see some lads on the call as well, which is always great. So welcome. So let me tell you a little bit about me. Wow. So I'm just an ordinary guy. Grew up on a council estate in the UK, or got dragged up, should I say. I wanted to be a footballer or a soccer player, as you guys say. It never worked out, as it never does. So I sort of come to a crossroads, in my life where I didn't really know what I was doing. Football didn't work out. I was a PT, or I had a PT qualification, so I pursued that for a bit, and then ended up going travelling. I actually did travel around Australia, and I used to football coach abroad in Europe. And I suppose my life completely changed, or my outlook on life completely changed when I had my daughter. I think I was 25 years old. So had my daughter, and thought, right, now I'm responsible for someone, my whole world changed. What can I do to provide for her and her future and be the best dad possible? Because, that's what I wanted to be. And so I joined the military. I joined the Royal Air Force, and I joined as a physical training instructor. Now, in the UK, to join the military is quite hard anyway, but to join straight in as a physical training instructor is a hard job. And when I went to the careers office and said, I want to be a PTI in the RAF, they sort of looked at me and said, oh, what else do you want to do? And I went, no, that's what I want. And they were like, well, but what else? Because there's not many people that, actually get this job. It's about 1 in 120 people. And I said, well, okay, that's me. I'm that one person. So that's what I did. I was that determined. I went to there and I got through. And I served for 5 years in the Royal Air Force. Absolutely loved the job. It was amazing. I love helping people. I'm passionate. I'm driven. I'm not a military type person, so I don't love the Queen and all that sort of stuff. And that's me being honest. But the salary was great. The security was amazing. And like I said, it was for my daughter's future and her security. So when I saw a guy who I know in the army posting about fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and he's not really, I would say, in the best of shape at the time. And this is me being real with you guys. I thought he was crazy. I thought he was off his head, and I knew him, so we had a bit of banter. We were allowed. So I messaged him after a bit and said, Jay, what are you doing? Have you lost the plot? Are you mad? Like, what's this juicy juice stuff you're on about? And that was my response. And he was quite clever with how he worded it and how he got back to me. He was like, forget about the products, like it's fruits and vegetables. I think you could do this business. I think you could smash it. Now, at the time, like I said, I had a good job. I lived on base. My weekends were my own, but I come up with every excuse why I didn't want to do it, if that made sense. So I said, I've got no time. I'm too busy. What would people think? I don't know if I'd be able to, make it work. Is it a scam? All those sorts of things that you think of. And he said, do some of your own research. And it took me about 4 weeks really to it took me probably about a week to even look at the stuff he sent me, but it took me a few weeks to, look at the company website, have a look at the history of the company, and, all that sort of stuff. And I actually felt like a bit of an idiot because I couldn't fault it. Fruits and vegetables, we all need it. We don't get enough. Okay, cool. Well, we've got 30 different fruits and vegetables in a capsule. I thought, well, that's actually a great concept. I didn't know the company was 40 odd years old. And at the time they were in, I think it was 24 different countries. So I thought, okay, well, it's got longevity. It's got history. Maybe I need to look into this a bit more, which I did. And, I'm not money driven, guys, but the deciding factor whilst actually joining the franchise was he showed me what I earned in a month. And it was almost the same as what I earned full-time in the military. And I just thought, wow. And I know he'd only been doing it a few months. And I just thought, even if I could just earn an extra £100 or £200 a month, which is, what's that, double, I suppose, in Australian dollars. I thought, that would go a long way. That would go a long way. And I joined in August. So this was end of July. I thought, if I could just save a little bit of money, that I could take my daughter or spoil her over Christmas. I could spoil my wife over Christmas. I thought, do you know what? I'll just go for it and see what happens. And that was where I was at when I initially joined. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what reaction I'd get. And I just thought, I sat on base in the evenings, and if I wasn't in the gym where I'd been all day, I was playing the PlayStation or watching movies or whatever it was. So I just thought I could put a bit of time into this and see what happens. So that is where I was when I joined the business, and that's why I joined. And it was monetary, but it wasn't to earn it. It was what I could do with it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you were about just building something part-time. Like, you recognised in that fellow that he was just doing it part-time and that you could do it around your job. And I think that's something that sometimes people think that they have to launch themselves into this full-time to become an absolute success story. And it probably is more like taking one small step at a time and building the fortune part-time before you step into it full-time. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So what did you do, Scott? Obviously you were still working in your job, your job. What did you do when you first got started? What were the steps that you were taking in the initial stages? What sort of time were you committing to this?
I mean, if I join now, we've got so much more to offer in terms of, leadership and all the rest of it, and what we have to help you guys build your business. When I started, there was no Zooms, there was one customer group, there was one distributor support group. There was hardly any events. There was nothing really going on. So it was all built online and through your network. So I didn't really have a lot of guidance in terms of how to build it. I only had guidance in terms of how to put orders on, how to get to the next position. So the real basics. So I just got told to use my social media and use my contacts that I've already got. So I was like a man possessed. Initially, I just spent a couple of hours in the evening. So, posting on Facebook, was the absolute minimum. I was going through my phone book, I was going through messages, I was messaging people, I was ringing people I knew, people that trusted me, and I just sort of said, how you doing, how's things, what you're up to, got them to open up about their job or their health and fitness. And in the UK we love to moan, whatever it's about. So as soon as they moaned, I just went, I've got something that can help that. Do you want to listen? And my excitement, even though I didn't really know what I was doing or how big it could be, my excitement and my voice and my passion, and a lot of people actually said, tell me more. It sounds good. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. You can join me if you want. You don't have to, but you can watch me. It's up to you. So a few people said I was an idiot. A few people said it was a scam. I was mad. I was going to lose money, but I suppose the more success I was quickly getting with building the customer base and adding a few team members, then I earned my money. I think it's $137, isn't it? 50 in Australia. So you find a few customers, you've got that money back. So I was like, I'm already making profits. So again, my attitude and my mentality when I was speaking to people, they could just see that, okay, if I don't join them, I'm going to miss out on something here. And that's what I created, and that's what I did. And a couple of hours in the evening when I started building a customer base, you have to then speak to them daily, putting orders through. That soon turned to 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. It consumed me. I loved it though. the more it was growing, the more passionate I got, the more excitement I created on Facebook. And people were just like, what are you doing? Because I want to get involved. And that's what I created. And network marketing is all about momentum, guys. You're either a momentum maker or you're a momentum breaker. Okay. So, momentum is so important. And when you start building small bits of momentum, that's when you work harder to really get that going more, to get those wheels turning as such. And then, once you get to a point where it's, you're going uphill and the momentum's big, then that's when you go downhill and it just keeps going and going and going without you doing anything. And that's the point where you have to get to. So for me, it was just passion, belief, excitement, and just reaching out to all my network. Because people bought into me generally before they bought into the products or business, because they trusted me, they believed in me. I was a PT, I was in the military, I had my own story because I got on the products, straight away. And I showed them my story, product, and then business early on, and I was showing them other people's as well. So, it was all about that excitement and passion.
And Scott, you were going along to events and people were tagging along as well. Tell us what sort of number of events you would do in a week.
Well, my event structure didn't really start until I went to a company event 3 months into my journey as such. And it was about 400 people. Now, I didn't have a clue what to expect. I thought it might be a bit of a cult, all that sort of stuff. And I was there, honestly, for the party on the Friday night because it was 2 nights. So, and I didn't know what to expect. But I was the type of the person at the time, I was still quite close-minded. Being a PT in the UK, that's generally how they are. I was quite close-minded, although I love the products and I got some great results from them. I didn't understand the business, I didn't understand network marketing, I didn't understand the Juice Plus company and how big it was. So for me, going to this event, I just wanted a better insight. So the second day I was there was a lady at the end who was talking. She was 24 or 25 at the time. Her name's Katie Ravey. I know you guys, know her. She's got a big team in Australia. And I didn't really listen to her presentation. My arms were folded, again, closed-minded. But someone asked her, it was Alex Webb in the UK, he's been in the business 26 years. He asked her, she was leaving the stage, how much money she'd earn. Again, I'm not money-driven, but what you can do with money is what this business is all about. So she said a six-figure number. And I was like, 150,000 pounds it was. She'd earned it in a year and a half. And I thought, wow, that's a life-changing amounts of money. Like, that's crazy, crazy money. Like, if I could earn something like that, that's a deposit for a house, or do you know what I mean? That's my daughter's future pretty much sorted. So I phoned up Jay, who got me involved, and I said, right, Jay, how do I earn that type of money? Because no offense to Katie, she's very inspiring, but she's no different to me. I could do that. How do I do it? And he said, you've just got to build a team, build a big team and encourage your team or them to do the same and so on and so on. And I said, right, how do I build a team then? And he said, well, obviously reach out to people, speak to people and start doing some events. And that was when my event structure started. So my first event I put on was for customers in my local town. I had about 100 customers and I had a couple of team members there as well that had some, a customer base. We built it up for a week. We created an event on Facebook and all that sort of stuff. And I went down there and we were buzzing. We had a little display and not one person turned up. Not one person. I was like, oh my God, what am I letting myself in for? This is never going to work. All those doubts that you get. And I was like, okay, so I can do two things here. I can either, just give it up and just go, okay, it's not working. I'll just sort of ride it out and get as much money as I can, or I can do something about it and, try again. And that's what I did. So I put on another event a week later, and it was a distributor-led event this time. It was in my hometown where I was living, and I, hyped it up, invited some of my distributors, got them to bring some people, and in the end, there was about 25 distributors there, about 20 from my team that had travelled from 1 to 2 hours, and there was 25 potentials there as well. So it's 50 people at this event. And I'd say that out of the 25% potentials, 20 of them signed up. So that one event really was a big moment in my Juice Plus sort of journey. And then I did an event in my hometown every month following on from that. And then I started doing them around you know, just the areas where I could get to, I could drive to, where there was pockets of team that were growing. Okay, so I'd work with the guys that were, you know, committed, and I'd say, look, if you can get a few team members there and you can all bring a few people each, it's worth my while doing it. So that's all I did for probably about 6 months. So I was doing 2 or 3 events a month in local areas where there was team growing. So that's where I was with that. And then there was another turning point for me was Arizona. I went to a company convention, 6,000 people, massive light bulb moment. Spoke to a lot of the corporate staff, a lot of the guys that have been involved in the business, national market directors that have been, you know, on the retreats for 15 to 20 years, people that have been on the products for that long. It was just like 4 or 5 days of absolute, just awe-inspiring people, really. And it was strange because I just didn't understand how big it was until I went to that convention. I didn't understand the history and the company, and it all made sense. Everything just clicked in those few days. And when I got back to the UK, that was the time where I made a decision to say, right, part-time right now, I'm earning 3 or 4 times as much as I am in the Royal Air Force. I was an international marketing director. I just thought, if I really go for this full-time, you know, I could take things to absolute new levels. So that's what I did. I put my notice in for the Royal Air Force. So I was scared, you know, because like I said, I joined it for my daughter's future and her security. And it was scary. It was scary. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know the outcomes. But what I did do is work harder. So for 6 months, I went from 2 or 3 events a month to 2 or 3 events a week, solid. And I was going all around the country. Anywhere I had team that were committed, I was working with them. I was building up their areas, and I was helping them so they could then do their own events. And I remember one night, I think it was possibly August, September. I was at home. I was sat at home. I had an event on in my local area. I had another 4 events going on around the country. All right, and I was sat at home, and I thought, that's what you call duplication, and that's what you call momentum. And I'll never forget that, sat in my kitchen, that moment, you know, and that's what all the hard work paid off.
Yeah, and that's also what you call residual income, Scott, which is ultimately what we're working towards, that you put the hard yards in to begin with, such that you're eventually leveraging your time, which is exactly where you've gotten to. And I think you've just embodied those first 3 characteristics you talked about, which was determination, vision, and passion and drive. Well, there's 4 actually. So I think you've just summed that up in one. So how quickly did you get to presidential marketing director?
10 months.
Wow.
10 months.
Yeah. Amazing. And that was initially doing it part-time and then moving into a full-time position? Part-time.
Yeah, it was part-time. Because, it was built on momentum. It was built on excitement. It was built on the team, you know, what we were passing down. The whole team were just so excited. It was built on Facebook, you know. We just did things with a lot of passion, with a lot of excitement. Yeah. And people wanted to get involved. People loved it. We had to learn. We learned, you know, a lot of stuff on the way, which we'll come to in a bit. But yeah, 10 months, and it was a whirlwind 10 months. It was a whirlwind. But although it was quick, some people that did the same sort of thing got PMD within a year in the UK. A lot of their businesses halved afterwards, or actually fell apart. And I can go through why if you like.
Yeah, do that, because, you know, you're now a PMD and obviously you've seen some businesses crumble. I mean, it sounds like a rhetoric question, but are you still building? And if so, what are you doing and why? And I guess that why comes around what you've seen happen to others.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I'd say to you guys is I built my business on Complete, which is a huge mistake, but I didn't know any difference. So yeah, you know, we have to remember the capsules are the flagship product. That's the product that's been around for 26 years. That's the product that's got most of the science backing it up. That's the product you need to be promoting. And there's a few reasons for it. Now, I'm not saying the complete range is not good, but that's everything else apart from the capsules is packages. And that's one thing I've been focused on for sort of last 6 months or so is packages. But the capsules, when people order them, after the 4 months, they generally reorder. If they don't, after a couple of weeks, they realise they're missing out and you're not feeling so energetic, not feel so good, and they'll reorder. With the shakes, it's linked to weight loss. So it's linked to fad diets. They'll have the shakes. They won't take them every day. They might hit their weight, goal weight, and then just stop taking them, all that sort of stuff. But generally, with the shakes, you don't get reorders. That's what we're finding in the UK. So all this volume I was getting through my business, through Screw Complete, all of a sudden hit the top, and it's rather than just plateauing and slowly growing or having little curves, it just went straight back down. So we had to learn, and we did. My business half, but I worked my ass off to pick it back up, and I learned. I was still earning. We weren't losing money. That's the good thing about the residual income. We were still earning, but we were learning at the same time, and that's the main thing. Now, a lot of people through hard times, unfortunately, quit instead of just learning and growing. Which again, I'm a firm believer on. We never fail in this business. We never fail. We're always learning. And you've got two choices: quit or do something about it. Okay. So we did. We just learned, and we built a complete, a capsule-based business and packages. And that was a tough journey, but one that I needed to go through. And I think you'll all go through it at some point. You all will. Business is never like that, ever. All right, ever. You always got to expect it to have ups and downs. All right, but as long as it's going up, I never look on month by month in my business, my volume, my charts, all that stuff. I always go year by year. How does this year go? How could it have been better? Okay, if you're new to the business, you won't understand that, but if you've been involved for a couple of years, you'll realise that. But as long as it's growing, that's the main thing. So, again, it comes back to momentum and what you're doing to build that momentum.
So, Scott, do you have goals around sort of recruitment, goals around club levels? What sort of goals do you put in place for yourself? What sort of measures do you put in place for yourself to know that you're moving forward?
Yeah. So I forgot to say that. You said, what am I building? I'm always building. If you're not building this business, if your business isn't growing, like I said, it's going the other way. All right. So you've always got to be building yourself as well as your team. So what I say to my guys is, if you're serious about this business, if you want to earn, money, if you want financial freedom, time freedom, you want to travel, all the buzzwords that we hear around network marketing and Juice Plus Company, that's great. Hey, brilliant. If you're not doing the basics, then don't expect that. Okay, and what I say, my guys, is the basics. Is we have it's 8, 2, 5 and 1 in the UK, but I'll break it down to you guys like this: 5 customers and 1 distributor every month. New. That's it. If you're doing that every month, that's 12 new distributors you have and 60 new customers just alone. Now, if that first new distributor you get, if they do the same for the next 11 months in your year, they get 11 distributors, 55 customers. If you add that to yours, do you know what I mean? And if you add that all up, that is what you call a growing business. You can't only but grow if everyone follows the 5 customers and 1 distributor. And that's what I say to my guys. And I do a lot of things, weekly and monthly. I do a lot of recognition of guys that do hit 5 customers and 1 distributor, or people that do a lot more. We do a lot of team training, etc., on how to do that, because it is basic. But if you set yourself a minimum target of that, it's achievable. If I said to you guys, if this was a business where you could lose money and your kids could, if you've got children, your kids couldn't eat that month, if you didn't find 10 customers and 2 distributors, you'd do everything you could to do that, wouldn't you? You wouldn't not hit it. So why treat it any different? Why not treat this as a business? Why not treat this as something that can change your life? Because it can. All right? I know it might sound a bit cheesy for those of you who are newer to the business, but it can change your life. I'm living proof for that, Tamara and everyone else is, that's NMD or above in this business. So treat it like a business. Treat it like it's your future and your children's future, or whatever it is your why is. Okay? And that is very, very basic. 5 customers and 1 distributor, and teach that to your team and how to do that. And the reason for it is we teach that in the UK because if you in your first month hit 5 customers, you've basically got your first promotion, which is DD, which is DVF, I think, in Australia. So your percentage goes up, and your commissions, you get a mini promotion, so you can celebrate that on social media. And then if you can get one person in your business, and then the next month, they get a person, you get someone else, that's free. Then people trying to get 5 new customers that month, because you're doing the same, that's you hitting SDVF in your second month. But just by doing that 5 customers on tissue, and that's a very simple format, guys. Very simple. And you can get those 5 initially just by your friends and family. Like your own order, friends and family. So if you can get people to SDVF in 60 days, it's a massive paycheck part-time. It's 2 promotions. It's, it creates a lot of excitement and passion. They're more likely to stay in the business, and, they're more likely to get people or get their own momentum going. All right. So that's what we do in the UK. It's very simple and very easy to teach and very, very good to promote.
I think the other great thing about that, Scott, too, is, when we get focused on bringing new franchisees and building team, we forget that this business is still about product. We are a business about moving a product. And if we're not moving product, then we're actually not generating volume. If we're not generating volume, we're not generating commission and retail profit. So I love the fact that you're, really focusing on building customers as much as you are franchise partners as well, which is brilliant.
We've really gone back to that in the UK at the minute, because customers are key. All right? If you've got no customers, you've got no business. Simple as that. Whether you're DD or you're an NMD or PMD, it's as simple as that. So we've really gone back to customer focus, especially in the UK. January, February, March, pretty much to May is our busiest time of the year. Everyone wants to get healthy and lose weight after Christmas, and everyone wants to get into shape with the summer summer bodies and all that sort of stuff. So I've said to my guys, for January, February, and March, let's do 10 customers in one distributor. Why not? Right? But let's really concentrate on looking after our customers. So add them to your customer support group, send them the welcome pack, the absolute basics. Do a welcome post on Facebook to welcome them to the plan. If they start getting results, send them a card. Real stuff that makes them feel special, it makes them feel welcome. And then what we do is then follow the customer timeline. So you get to a point where 3 or 4 weeks in, they've got their results, they've done their 2-week detox, you've sent them a card, they're loving the products. You can then phone them up and say, well done. Is there any of your family and friends that would benefit from the products? So you get them referrals. And then at the 6-week point, you phone them up again and say, look, thanks for your support, thanks for your help, really appreciate it. Do you know you've handed me X amount of money in commissions, you're doing what I'm doing anyway, why don't you just join my team? I'd love you on board. All right. And then you start them off just part-time, get them to a Zoom, get them to an event, and then all of a sudden they realize the potential, and a few of them might just go, right, NMD's mine. And that's it. And that's all we're doing in the UK at the minute. So John did a really good presentation, John Holowati in Birmingham, and he called it Body Brain Business. So really important that you as a distributor, are a product of the product. And we say this a lot in the UK. So yes, I'm not saying that we're a weight loss product. We're not. But, are you looking in good shape? Are you working to get into shape? Are you, making yourself accountable on Facebook, what you're eating, what you're doing, going to the gym, going on for walks, all that sorts of thing? Are you being the best possible version of you in terms of your health? Okay. I'm not saying you can't have a takeaway, because, that's fine. We're human, but just don't put it on Facebook. Yeah. And then brain, are you doing self-development? Are you reading audiobooks? Are you getting on Zooms? Right? Obviously you guys are, so we can't question that. So, but are you doing enough to, again, expand your knowledge in network marketing, in, leadership, in customer care, all that sort of stuff? Are you doing enough to be the best possible version of you in terms of brain? So you've got brain and body. Now, if you do those 2 things, your business can only grow. And that's where the business comes into it. So it's brain, body, business. So we're really focusing on that in the UK at the minute, and it's working. It is working, because it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter, your gender, your age, your background. People will buy into you before they buy into the products and business. And if you're being genuine and you're being real with people, then, you're on to a winner. You really are.
Yeah, awesome. So, Scott, if you were to do it all again, for whatever reason, knowing what you know now, knowing the, you know, the knowledge, skills, and wisdom that you have now, is there anything that you would do differently?
Yeah, massive. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had about 100 customers in my first 2 months, and I'd probably say 2 of them now are still customers, which is terrible, which is absolutely terrible. But I just didn't know how to look after them. You know, I didn't know that, you know, they were so important. They were all on complete. I just did it all wrong. I did it all wrong. So if I was to start again now, I'd have a Facebook page, I'd have Instagram and Twitter. I just give value on that. You know, I'd go on my own journey. I'd show people that, and I wouldn't push Juice Plus down people's throats, but I'd show people what I was eating, what I was doing, going to the gym, my journey. I create a lot of excitement again, a lot of intrigue, a lot of curiosity, but give loads of value. And I just build a customer base. And what I do is really look after those customers, help them get the results, help them get referrals, and then introduce them to the business. Because what I found, you go into different modes in this business. And when you start getting a big team, you go into management mode. And I was in management mode a lot the start of last year and the back end of the year before that, where you're just managing your current team rather than building. And it's difficult. It's difficult because you get frustrated because they're not doing what you're asking. You know, you're signing up new people and they're not even returning your messages, and you start thinking, what am I doing wrong? You know, and all those sorts of things. Whereas you always need to be working with new people. So what I do now differently to, you know, last year I recruited again one or two people every month, but they were people that hadn't even tried the products. They weren't even ordering their own products. So I was wasting my time as a PMD. My time is precious. I was wasting my time with these people. So if I was to do it now, like I'm doing now, I'm building a huge customer base again. That's my focus. And I will recruit through my customers because they've already got the passion. They've already got the belief. They love the product. They do what we do anyway, and they just don't get paid for it. So that's if I was to start again, I'd massively be customer focused and recruit through my customers.
And when you ask them the question, you know, to join my team, how do you feel about that? Are you sort of 10 foot tall and bulletproof? Is it the words that you use?
Say that again.
When you ask sort of your raving fan customers to join you in the business, what are the sorts of words that you use? Are you sort of 10 foot tall? Are you bulletproof? What's your conversion rate?
Yeah, I mean, I always ring them because messaging is just, it's not enough for me. Voice noting's good, but ring them or meet them depending on if they're local. And they can, I always just make it about them. Always ask questions, you know, whether it's the products, you know, how they're getting on, or, you know, whether it's just generally, you know, how's things, how's the family, whatever it is. And then I'll just say, look, you know, you love the products, you love the business, just get involved. And I'll make it sort of like, so it's an easy thing to do. It's hassle-free, it's risk-free, but I don't set big targets and just go, look, you could pay for your products minimum. So it's worth doing. And then anything else is a bonus, isn't it? And like I said, then you expose them to bigger things, whether it's Zoom calls, events, you know, that sort of stuff. And if they want to take it further, then it's up to them. There's no point, guys, and I've done this many a times, there's no point trying to get people to, what we say is, get more out of people than they want to. Not everyone is like me in this business. Not everyone's like Tamara in this business. Not everyone wants to be an NMD or a PMD. People are just happy to earn a few $100s a month. People are happy to pay for their groceries with their Juice Plus income. People are happy just to have one holiday a year with what they get from Juice Plus. And that is great, and you have to respect that. I mean, if you try and get more out of people than they actually want to give, then you'll just scare them away and you'll push them away. But what you'll find is when you start growing a massive team, that 80% of your team will just be happy customers, which is great because you need that. And 15% will probably want to do a little bit more, earn a little bit more and get the picture, but they won't be fully committed. So they'll get on the odd Zoom, they'll come to the odd event or whatever it is. And that's great too. But you'll get the odd 5%, which is people who are, you know, destined to be an MD, that you work with a lot. You put 100% commitment in. What we say in the UK is you move in with them, all right, for a few months. And you really help them and learn and help them grow. And that's all it is. Not that you ignore any others, because you've still got your Facebook groups and all the stuff like that. But don't try and get more out of people than what they're ready to give. All right? And it's as simple as that. Let the 10%ers do 10%. Let the 50%ers do their 50%. Let the 100%ers do 100%, but just do it by their side. All right. And that's what, you know, what we say in the UK.
That's awesome, Scott. What do you do when you're starting a brand new franchise partner? What's your...
I give them 60 days. I'll give them 60 days. So if they're not given in 60 days, you can tell if they're a 10%, or 50%, or 100%. And the easiest way to do it, and again, it doesn't matter what one they are, but the easiest way to do it is set them tasks. So first of all, when they join up, you know, I'll do a Zoom. I'll go through the office, how to put an order through, how to navigate through the office, the website, etc. And then I'll say, right, let's put your order through. So that's your first test. All right, they've got to put their own order through. If they're not already a customer, okay, that's the first test. If they put an order through, you know they're committed. All right, they want to get on the products, they want to feel it. Brilliant. If they're already a customer, that's cool too. And then the next one is say, right, write a list. I want a list. I want you to add to it 10 people every day at least. So family, friends, Facebook contacts. All right, after a couple of days, show me your list. I haven't done it yet. Okay, cool. All right, let's show me it tomorrow then, when you've had a bit of time. Or their list is bigger than what you said. So again, you can gauge how much or how committed they are. Cool, right, you've got a list. There's a Zoom next week. I want you to get on it. See if they get on it. I want you to listen to this audio book, Jim Rohn, How to Build Your Network Marketing Business, right? That is the absolute bread and butter of our business, guys. If you haven't listened to that yet, you need to. It's free on YouTube. So I send the link. Let me know when you've read this. What did you get from it? So I know they've listened to it. Okay, so if they're getting back to me an hour later, I know they're committed. If they're getting back to me the next day, they're still committed, but they're not as committed. If I have to prompt them, have you read it yet? Have you read it yet? Have you read it yet? I know they're not committed. And after 60 days, you can gauge by setting them the targets, whether they're in the 10%, 50%, or whatever it is. So that's what I do with my...
I love that. That's fantastic. So next question. What do you think, and I think you embody them anyway, but what do you think are the characteristics that really make a success leader in our business? Knowing the people that you know and the people you rub shoulders with and the success that's grown out of the UK, what do you think are the success principles?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite simple. It's quite simple. You have to have belief. Belief in the products is a main one. Obviously, being a product like we said. Belief in the business. You have to have belief in network marketing. You have to have belief in the company. But most importantly, belief in yourself. You have to have that self-belief, guys. You have to believe that whatever it is you want from this business, that you can achieve it. Okay, so belief is a massive one for me. Passion. You have to be passionate, whether it's you posting on Facebook, whether it's speaking to your neighbor, your team member, whoever it is, you have to have passion. You have to believe that what we're involved in is amazing. What we can offer is amazing. You've got something here that can change people's lives, whether it's through health or better health through the products, or whether it's through better health through the business. No, I said that the wrong way around, but you know what I mean. So we have something that can change people's lives. So be passionate about that. Be passionate, because people will see and hear that passion in your voice, and then, like I said, they'll buy into you first. So passion and belief is so important. And what I'd say is, what a lot of the guys, especially in the UK, have is their determination. Their determination is it's crazy. It is crazy. And they're from, like I said, they're from all walks of life. Young, old, male, female, educated, uneducated, you know, students, professional people. They've all got that sort of can-do attitude, that like, I am going to get to this position, whether it kills me, whether I have to sleep 6 hours a day or 4 hours a day, I'm going to do it. And they know why they want to do it. They've got a big why, which is important also. But yeah, so for me, that sort of attitude and that sort of determination. Now, I'm not saying every day you're going to wake up really motivated, because you're not, all right? And you're not going to have, you're not going to feel 9 out of 10 every day. Some days you're going to feel like oh, I'm tired, or I can't be bothered today. They're the days where you really need to grind and do what you can. Listen to a motivational video first thing in the morning. Listen to a bit of Jim Rohn. Listen to a bit of Tony Robbins, or whatever it is. Just a quick 10 minutes, and then go, actually, yeah, now right, I'm ready. Have your why where you can see it. So whether it's your kids or your house or your holiday, on your fridge, right? That's why I'm doing this. right, okay, cool, I'm refocused, I'm re-energized, I'm ready to go. But that's 3 things I definitely say that you need to build your business and move forwards.
Yeah, and the thing that I see in all of you guys is discipline. There's incredible discipline around what you guys do, and consistency. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned off you guys, is just that consistent action every single day. Last question, Scott. Thank you. This has been amazing.
Hey.
Probably, I think you'll look around all the pictures on tonight and you'll probably realise more than 90% of our business is women. We have a small but growing group of men who have embraced the business, particularly over the last 12 to 18 months. Do you have any advice for the blokes building? Because network marketing traditionally has been very female driven in all of the different businesses that are out there. But what do you think is unique to a bloke building this business? And what sort of advice do you have to men who are really wanting to build a network marketing business with Juice Plus?
First thing I'd say is the Italian business at the minute, which is the biggest in Europe. They overtook us in December. I think we overtook them again in January. Is 90% male. Okay, so that's just, they've built momentum and excitement and a massive male team. All right, so it's not that it can't be done. We just need to market it different. So if you're marketing weight loss, you're going to attract females, and that's the way it is. Not that lads don't need to lose weight. I'm saying that that's what you're attracting. If you're attracting beauty, better skin, hair, and nails, you're attracting women. Now, what we're trying to do in the UK at the minute, we're doing a UK tour. Me, John Holowati, Rick Ravey, and a couple of other guys that have got amazing testimonials through the product and business. We're doing a little tour in the UK just to really promote it up, because I feel that we're missing out on half the population if we're just targeting women, which is true, right? So we've also got a Facebook group as well. If I forward it to you tomorrow, you can forward it to all the lads in your team. Anyone's welcome in this Facebook group. It's called the Power of Plant-Based Nutrition. So we've come away from the Juice Plus name. There is Juice Pluses in there, but it's open to anyone. And we'll do live events, live videos, and things like that in there, where you can actually add lads in there to show what we do. So it's the way you market it. So we need to market as lads. We need to market it as, pre and post workout, energy and recovery, phytonutrients, health. We need to market it in a complete different way to what you ladies do. Now, if you look at the successful men, now I'm going to refer to the business as a whole. Jeff Roberti is a male, obviously. He's earned over let me put this right in your terms, $160 million in commission since he started 26 years ago, whatever it was, 28 years ago, $180 million, or whatever I said. So he's a male. John Holowati's earned over 100 million, 1 million or 2 million Australian dollars. He's a male. I'm a PMD, male. Rick Ravey, PMD in the UK, male. Katie Ravey's brother. There's a lot of males in the UK that are leaders. So anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. Now, what with lads in the UK, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but straight away they think weight loss, or they think, oh, that's a women's business. Okay, so it's up to us just to re-educate and go for it. But anyone can do this, guys. Anybody can do it. You just have to, with guys, you really have to speak to them, ring them, sit down with them and just go, what is it you think about Juice Plus and about the business, about the products? And then go, great. And then even say, I thought that as well when I first started, but did you know? And then just re-educate them. All right? And if you can create a bit of momentum with lads, then that'll keep going and going and going. So that's what I'd say. And it might be hard to find that one person, but I'm going to do it in my area now. I'm going to find, I've got a meeting actually in 15 minutes with a guy who's actually found me. So I'm going to say to him, let's work together. Let's try and build up a lads network and push it forward. So that's what we're doing. But it's just about educating guys. They're a lot more closed-minded, I find, and harder to break down. But it doesn't mean that it's not for lads, because we know that products and business, everyone can benefit from it.
And
right?
Scott,
you just got to educate people. So that's what I'd say.
Yeah. Do you think that men hear more about numbers and business?
I think their motives are different. Definitely, I think generally it's money. With lads, it's, they want to earn money and for whatever reasons. But I think it's just I don't think it's definitely more numbers. I just think they see the money side of it more than helping people or changing people's lives and whatever. If they're really money orientated, then I find they're not a good distributor. But you can re-educate and just say to them it's more about other people than it is about you. The more people you help, the more successful you become. The more you help people earn money, the more you earn, that sort of thing. That's the business we're in. But yeah, they are out there. They're out there because, like I said, there's top leaders in the business that are males. So don't write them off. Don't write them off.
No way. We're not writing the blokes off, don't worry.
No,
but I think, you've touched on a really important point there too, though, that it still does, no matter what you do, whether you're talking money, whether you're talking to blokes, whether you're talking dollars, you still got to talk product, because if you don't talk product, you don't have a business. So I think it's really, so I think it's really a really, really valid point. Well, we're just going to wrap things up. There are a couple of questions, if anyone else has any quick questions, because obviously you've got to shoot off to a meeting. Hillary asked, what format did your events take? It sounded to me like sort of your business events seem to have great attraction.
Yeah, so basically the format's simple. This has come from John, from the Rhino movement when we first got going. Basically, it's an hour. It's somewhere where it's relaxed. It's trendy. You know, a bit of music. Very, very informal. Like I did a lot of mine in the summer in my flip flops. I can call them thongs. My flip flops, my thongs, and my shorts, and really relaxed. And they just must have looked at me and thought, "Who is this guy?" But really relaxed. You do a product presentation, 10 minutes tops. Don't go into all the science and all that sort of stuff. There's absolutely no need whatsoever. Just it's all stories. So go for the products, what they do, what fruits and vegetables are in them. And then say to people they can look at the company website for all the science and that, and then get testimonies up. Loads of people that have, got some great stories, because stories sell at the end of the day. And then you go onto the business, same again, 20 minutes business, how easy it is, how it works, what you get, how to build it, and then business testimonies. Go from bottom position to the top position. Simple as that, an hour long. Then the main part of the event is after the event. So you're having a drink at the bar, you're networking, you're speaking to people, the people you've invited will, you can sort of, if it's a student, a male or female, then I'll get them to speak to someone in the team that's a student. If it's someone who's from a PT background, I'll speak to them and whatever. And that was it. Very simple, but very, very effective.
Yeah, I think sometimes what we do is we look for the magic, but the magic is just doing the basics. So brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. So Scotty, thank you so much for all of your time. It was amazing to connect with you in Dubai and just to watch what you're doing.